Welcome to the deep dive. We take your sources, sift through them, and pull out the key insights. We're talking about Air Groove, one of Japan's truly iconic mares. That's a female horse, obviously. A champion who basically rewrote the rulebook on whether fillies, young female horses, could compete with the top colts. This deep dive will explore her whole life, from that fiery start right through to her lasting legacy. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it with you.
Her influence is still felt today.
Absolutely. And her story really kicks off in 1993. Her pedigree was, incredible. Destiny written all over it, maybe. Her sire, the father, Tony Benn, he won the Arc de Triomphe, one of the biggest, toughest turf races globally.
Huge deal.
And her mother, Dinah Carl, she'd won the Oaks, which is, the classic race for 3-year-old fillies. So right away, the lineage hinted at something special. It even kind of foreshadowed this rare mother-daughter Oaks thing we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm. And her trainer, Yuji Ito, he saw it instantly. There's that famous quote, right? He told the owner, if she'd been a colt, she would have won the Derby.
Oh, straight away.
Yeah, that's the kind of raw potential he saw from day one. But interestingly, along with that potential, she got this fiery temperament, a real strong will, apparently, from her sire.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the sources say it wasn't always easy, but they managed it. Patient training, careful handling.
Yeah.
They channeled that energy, which says a lot about her early development, really.
Yeah, that careful management is key. So, okay, with that potential bubbling, she hits the track in 1995. Sapporo, Yutaka Take, the legend, is riding her.
Right.
Her first race, she loses by literally inches.
So close.
But then, bam, wins her second race. Shows her class straight away. Later, in the Hanshin Juvenile Fillies, that's a big one for 2-year-old fillies. She finishes second. They put that down to a late rider change and maybe the race pace being a bit slow for her.
Yeah, it just shows, doesn't it? Even with all the talent in the world, sometimes things just don't quite line up.
Yeah.
But you can still see the underlying ability was definitely there.
For sure. So after that promising start, her 3-year-old season hits. And it's a mix of, big highs and some real curveballs. She starts strong, wins the Tulip Show, looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But then disaster strikes. She gets a fever just before the Oka Show, the Japanese 1,000 guineas, a huge classic race.
Oh, no.
Yeah, had to be withdrawn. Must have been absolutely gutting for everyone involved. But this is where you really see her character. She comes back for the Yushin Himba, the Japanese Oaks.
Okay.
And get this. During the race, another horse basically slams into her path. Significant interference.
Oof, that can ruin a race.
Totally. But she fights back, just grits it out and powers home to beat Fight Gallagher, the filly who had won the Oka Show. Incredible grit.
And that win, it wasn't just, a comeback story. It had this amazing family tie-in. It meant she and her mother, Dinah Carl, became one of those very rare mother-daughter pairs to both win the Oaks.
Ah, that's right. You mentioned that earlier.
Exactly. It's not just a cool statistic. Mm-hmm. It highlights this incredible bloodline, generation after generation, real inherited class.
Such a great story. So she's got momentum now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then another setback, this one in the autumn. She's pupping for the Shuka Show, another G1 for fillies. She's in the paddock, the pre-race area where they parade.
Yeah.
And apparently camera flashes from the crowd spooked her really badly, got her completely worked up, agitated.
Okay, not ideal before a race.
Not at all. Unsurprisingly, she ran poorly, finished way back in 10th, but the real kicker, she fractured her right foreleg in the process.
Oh, wow. Serious?
Yeah, season over, long layoff needed, just awful luck.
But here's a really significant point that comes out of this awful incident. That specific event, Air Groove getting spooked by flashes, directly led to a rule change. Flash photography got banned in paddocks at Japanese racecourses afterwards.
No way. So her bad experience actually changed things for other horses.
Exactly. It's a powerful example of how sometimes a personal struggle can highlight a problem and lead to a really positive change for everyone. It's sort of an unexpected legacy from a tough moment.
That's incredible. Okay, so after that serious injury, the long rehab, she comes back as a 4-year-old, and she comes back strong. Wins the Murray Stakes, then the Sapporo Kinnan. She's clearly back in form.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where things get really interesting, strategy-wise. Instead of going the typical route for a top mare, the Queen Elizabeth II Cup, they make a really bold move. They decide to take on the colts, the boys, in the Tenno Show, autumn. Yeah. One of Japan's absolute biggest races.
That was a huge call. And the field that year was tough. He had Bubblegum Fellow, who'd won it before, and also this horse called Silent Suzuka, who was just starting to show how unbelievably fast he was.
Right, Silent Suzuka, known for just blazing speed from the front.
Yeah, And he did exactly that, went off like a rocket. But Air Groove, she showed her class, her versatility. She didn't panic, just stalked the pace perfectly.
Yeah, and
then in the stretch, she just digs in, runs down Bubblegum Fellow, wins by a neck. Thrilling finish. Showed him she could adapt, Didn't just have one running style.
Wow, and the historical impact of that.
It was
massive, right? She was the first mare to win the Tenno Show Autumn in 17 years, and the first ever since they changed the race distance to 2,000 meters.
Huge, absolutely huge. She wasn't just competing, she was beating the best colts fair and square.
She then goes to the Japan Cup, the big international race. Yutaka Take said she ran a perfect race, just perfect.
But still got beat, right?
Yeah, narrowly. By the international horse Pilsudski, finished a brilliant second, though, and she was third in the Ari McKinnon, too, another massive G1.
Okay, so let's connect the dots here. All these comp class runs, especially against the colts in these major races, this consistency, this brilliance, that's what led to her being named Horse of the Year.
Oh, okay.
And she was the first mare to get that honor since, like, the 1970s, since a horse named Tume. So what does this really mean for you, thinking about her story? It means she was fundamentally changing things, challenging these really ingrained ideas about female horses, proving they could dominate at the very top. It's kind of a metaphor, isn't it, for breaking any kind of perceived barrier.
Absolutely. A true game changer. And she wasn't done yet. She stays in training as a 5-year-old in 1998, still going strong, kicks off the year winning the Osaka High, beating other good mares like Majiro Dober.
Solid start.
Then she runs third in the Takarazuka Kinen. That was the race where Silence Suzuka just exploded, and Stay Gold was second. Still a great run in top company. But then, back at Sapporo, she does something amazing. She needs the Sapporo Kinen again. Repeat win. And she did it carrying 58 kilograms.
Wow, 58 kilos.
Yeah.
That's a massive weight, especially for a mare.
Exactly. It basically means the handicapper thought she was so much better than the others, they had to give her this huge weight penalty to make it fair. And she still won. By 3 lengths.
That just screams class, doesn't it? When you're given that kind of challenge by the officials and you just brush it off, it makes you wonder, what kind of mental toughness did she have to keep performing like that?
Incredible. So that autumn, they skip the Tenno Show. They go for the Queen Elizabeth II Cup instead. She finishes third, surprisingly, as the favorite. And then the Japan Cup again. And for the second year running, she finishes second. This time to the absolute superstar, El Condor Pasa.
El Condor Pasa, wow, legend.
Yeah, and Special Week was third. So you had Air Groove sandwiched between 2 legends. It was actually a rare all-Japanese 1-2-3 in the Japan Cup that year. Shows the level she was running at.
Definitely, top tier.
Her very last race was the Ari McKinnon. Back with Yutaka Take, but more bad luck. She lost a shoe during the race.
Oh, you're kidding. In her last race?
Yeah. Really hampered her. She finished 5th behind Grass Wonder. Unfortunate end to her racing career.
Okay, so let's kind of wrap up her racing career here. You look at it, and yeah, she only won 2 G1s, which might sound a bit low for a Horse of the Year, but her consistency, her sheer bravery, it was just legendary.
Right.
I mean, from her 4-year-old season onwards, she basically only raced against the boys in open company, always taking on the toughest competition. And check this stat. Apart from those 2 races with major issues, the Paddock thing and losing the shoe, she finished in the top 3 in 17 out of her 19 starts.
17 out of 19? That's insane consistency.
Insane, especially against colts, and especially back then when, let's be honest, mares were often seen as, maybe not quite top tier. It just tells you everything about her character, her guts, and the impact she had. She wasn't just good, she set a whole new standard.
And thankfully, her story didn't end when she left the track. She went on to become, well, what they call a supermom in the breeding world. Passed on those amazing genes.
Yeah, she really did. Her very first foal at Meyer Groove won the Queen Elizabeth II Cup twice, back to back. The race her mom, sort of dreamed of winning but didn't quite manage.
Wow, full circle.
Exactly. And she had other really good ones too, like Rulership, who won a G1 overseas, became a globetrotter. And her bloodline is still huge today. You see it through horses like Duramente, who was Rulership's son and is now a top stallion himself. Her legacy just keeps going.
Amazing continuation.
It really is. But there's also this incredibly poignant final story about her. In 2013, she gives birth to a colt. But then she suffers really bad internal bleeding afterwards.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was serious. But somehow, with her last bit of strength, she managed to get up and nurse the newborn foal. Gave him that vital colostrum, the first milk that's so crucial.
Oh, wow. Even then.
Even then. She passed away shortly after, age 20. Just heartbreaking, but also kind of inspiring, right? And that final fall, they named him Chopin. He didn't end up racing, but he found this whole other purpose. He became a therapy horse.
A therapy horse?
Yeah, helping people dealing with physical or emotional trauma. So her legacy, it just extends in these ways you'd never expect, not just on the track, but actually touching human lives directly. It adds this whole other layer.
What an incredible life story. Wow. Ear Groove wasn't just a racehorse, was she? She was a proper trailblazer. Took on the boys, beat them, changed the whole perception of female horses in Japanese racing, inspired so many people. She didn't just win races, she fundamentally shifted beliefs and opened doors for all the great mares that came after her.
Absolutely. Which leads to a final thought, maybe for you, the listener, to chew on. What lessons can we take from Ear Groove's story about, determination when things get tough, about having the courage to challenge the way things have always been done, and maybe about the unexpected ways a life can leave a mark, both in the arena you expect and maybe far beyond it too. Something to think about.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more. Check out our other videos for more stories you might enjoy.